trying.
All right, here we go. And we are going to be live in
Is that good?
some time.
Making sure it's not loose or something.
All right, whoops. Hi, this is Isaac from Turnsounds. Going out in the rain will get you wet.
Yep, the droid is ready.
Hello there.
No droid.
That R2 unit is in prime condition.
I'm with the droid on this one.
Wow, relax your droid.
Congratulations.
Hello there, and welcome to Astromech, your favorite Star Wars podcast show. We are the Star Wars show that is not waterproof. So if you're listening to us out in the rain, just watch out there. Maybe don't find some cover. That'd be a good idea. Ben, do you want to turn that track down just a bit? There you go.
Oh, there we
It's
go.
quite overwhelming.
Sorry about that.
All right, introductions first. My name's Isaac Mike Anthony. I am your host for today. You know me as I'll tell you a story in a little bit. If either of you guys know the name of the guy that John Williams plays in Episode 9, the bartender with the eye patch,
Tell you the name.
we'll get to that. But I'm that guy because I've had something in my eye all day and it's driving me crazy. So I'm John Williams today.
You're the John Williams bartender.
Just watch yourself.
Indeed. Joined today also by youngling Liam.
Yep.
Yep. Welcome.
Yep, that's me, youngling Liam.
Welcome. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Excellent. Over to my right here is Benjamin Scottford.
That's right. I'm the guy who George Lucas did a cameo as, if that happened in an alternate universe.
Oh, and what name do we call that by? What do we?
George Benson. It's got Ben in there.
George Benson is a wonderful guitarist,
is
I
he?
believe.
That's why that name came to me then.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Joined-
Well, we'll stick with that.
Joining us also is special guest from a very far galaxy away, Mr. Andrew Green. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. There you go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for coming back to my show. I am the OG, the Greedo.
Well, Andrew D2 was
Andrew
the...
D2 was one of the originals as well.
Yeah.
We'll go with Andrew D2. That sounds good.
Look, well, Andy has been away for some time.
I have.
And each time we reach out, he says he's quite busy. That's...
I say that.
Yeah.
Quite busy.
And obviously, you know, we want to take him at his word, but we can't help but speculate, you know.
Sure.
Which brings us to our very first segment for today, which is our top 5. Where has Andrew Green really been all this time? Play some show music, Liam. There's
I'm
like
interested to
Jeopardy
know as
music
well.
or something like that.
Jeopardy music. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna casually
Just
talk
press
for a
all
little
the-
bit while I find where it is. There it is.
Whoa.
Wait,
Sorry, that was me.
No, I was in. Have you
works.
found it? Because
Okay,
I
no,
haven't found
you-
it on
you-
here.
oh,
It's
you
not
haven't
Jeopardy.
found-
It's what's the game we play? Family Feud.
Ah, Family Feud.
Hey, all right.
That one.
Here
There
we
we
go.
go.
So this is our top 5. Where has Andrew Green really been?
Andrew
Well, I
Green.
don't know who that guy is, but I know where I've been.
It's a shame. That would have
do
rhymed
I?
and everything,
Yeah, no,
so-
it would have been good.
All right.
Would have been good.
So we've all got our top 5s.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
So I only had
Did
one.
you guys prepare this ahead of time? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe.
Okay.
A memo might have been put out to spend some time on 5.
I misread it and thought we had to pick one.
All right,
So I'm gonna have one that I've already got
All right,
planned, and then
that-
4 that
your
I'm gonna win.
improv skills are really
Yeah,
going to be
okay,
good.
Bring it on.
alright.
so
I love
Liam is going to give us his 5th. Where has Andrew Green really been?
it. Okay. Where have
I
I?
can't
where
do
have I
it.
been?
As in the one that I have actually got.
Nope,
or just
you're gonna
an
make
improv
up one on the
I'm gonna
fly.
make up one. Oh,
This is
geez.
what you get, boy.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. So look, he was frozen in carbonite.
All right, frozen carbonite.
I'd support that.
Give
It
that
is
a
cold.
ding or something.
It is cold.
All right, Ben.
I reckon, because I've been watching Man vs. Bee, I reckon he's been in that sort of scenario where
House
he's
sitting.
been house sitting and slowly,
Just
step by
attacked by
step,
a
destroying
singular-
someone's
yeah.
house.
Singularly
Yeah.
attacked by an insect.
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah, oh, I mean that's possible. I do have a phobia of moths.
Okay.
So
Andy, as we know, works for Australia Post. He's a postman. I just put delivering parcels. You know, it's been a busy parcel season,
it
so
has been. But yeah, okay, interesting.
been delivering parcels.
Interesting.
All right.
Not quite, but all right.
I will
Continue on.
raise you.
Okay.
Good old Andy here was sent on a top secret mission by Australia Post.
Ooh.
He was sent to test how well the delivery system works. They packaged him up in a box and sent him to the other side of Australia.
Wow.
Was he
You know-
seized by customs?
Look, I'm pretty sure my staff would appreciate that. I'm pretty sure they've suggested that a few times, actually.
Yeah, that one.
Wow, there you go.
Anyway, interesting. Okay, all right.
Seamless.
Might be close.
Okay, Benjamin.
I promise I'm not making this up. I had this in my head already. He was inspecting a parcel and fell in and got packaged up and sent across the country.
That also is pretty.
We're all on the same train of thought, though.
Okay, for my number 4, I had committing his entire almanac to memory.
Wow, that's very
I
good.
mean, you're right. There's a lot in there though that I don't think I think I'd still be there doing that.
Okay,
To be honest,
that's true.
There's a lot more stuff out there now.
Well, a lot of it is skimmable, I suppose, so you can just...
True.
Yeah. Liam, number 3.
Another one that I'm making up on the spot. You had to lie low from the cops for a while because you spent a period of time terrorizing some people while they were out on a camping trip, pretending to be crazy Ewoks or Wookiees or something.
our mate from...
Triggering our Yowie hunter for giving him something to go on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, look,
exactly what
I
this is.
support that. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. That could have been me.
Ben, number 3.
He was kind of like Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2. Every time he's on his way to see Mary Jane's play, something happens. And I think every time he was on his way to Astromech, there would be some crime, something he'd have to stop. So, yeah.
Yeah, a spider's got a spider.
My number 3, I have intense lightsaber and parkour training. Every night,
Yeah.
like after work, he just rocks up there with his, hoodie on, listening to some Rocky soundtrack or
Yeah.
whatever, and starts flipping around the place.
I just jump off a lot of stairs. That's all I do.
That is parkour,
Yeah.
technically. Parkour. All right, number 2, Liam.
I'm trying to think of one on the spot again. I've got one more that I'm just going to do my pre-planned one.
Okay.
He was caught. He was abducted by Ewoks.
There's a very strong Ewok theme coming from that side of the table, actually.
They are little terrorists.
You know what? You're not wrong.
You keep calling them murder bears. You can't
Yeah.
be,
I mean,
shocked
they are.
that they will
No,
abduct you.
that's true.
Exactly right.
That's true.
Exactly
I don't know
right.
if I'm the tastiest specimen for them to eat, though.
It's not about taste. It's about you've slandered them and
You're sending a message.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Liam, hit the button.
seamless again.
All right,
Seamless.
Ben, number 2.
He was heroically yet confidentially saving the country and saving the world while he's at it.
I think you've overestimated my abilities, but I do like where you're going with that. Ben.
That would keep him
Yeah.
busy. That would
It
keep
would,
him busy.
yeah.
So
I'm somebody's hero.
my number 2 is just drinking copious amounts of coffee and tequila.
Ooh, yeah.
That'll keep a
that's
man
also-
busy.
Yeah, that's pretty close too.
Yeah.
That's way too close to the truth.
Ooh. All right, and here we go around the table. Our number 1. Where has Andrew Grin really been?
Andrew,
I'm just staying with
you're
it
just
now.
You're leaning into that. Okay,
That's
cool.
All right, so this is my final one that I'm coming up with off the cuff here. The final one is he just needed some downtime, so he took up a hobby
Yeah.
that was initially a bit of Zumba. He realized he hurt his back, so he had to quit that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Then he took up aggressive cooking.
I have questions
Aggressive
about aggressive cooking. What
Well,
does that
look, you're the one who
involve?
did it, so you tell me.
Oh, right.
I
okay.
want to
No,
know.
True. Well, I might have. I imagine that's just me throwing pancake mix around a kitchen. I imagine that's all I do. So this is very low. This
Do you
microphone.
know? I'm suspecting that a drop off point on his mic. Every time we speak, it like goes over the top of his mic. Like, start talking, Andy.
Hello, I'm talking now.
And now
Here
I'm
I
going to
am.
talk
Check,
over
check.
the top
Okay.
of Yeah,
Drowning
Nah,
in water.
yeah, something like that.
That's all right.
We'll sort
That's
it out
okay.
in a minute after
It'll
the
be
game.
alright.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ben.
Me, yes. Now I forgot. Oh yeah, that's right. He's been a new Uber Eats coffee specialist service. So he's been delivering coffees.
Yeah.
And the thing is, every time you deliver a coffee, they're not going to notice if there's like one sip worth missing.
know,
So you
just
get your
means random-
constant stream
Yeah,
of
yeah,
coffee,
yeah.
I
and
disagree.
you get paid for
Yeah.
it.
They're going to see one foamy milk bit around the tip.
Yeah.
No, he's found a little hack. You can get like a straw and put it through the
Yeah.
the thing.
Well, I think the key is you've got to have the sip of the espresso before you pour in the milk. Then they don't notice.
Okay.
That's the key.
And my number
One job.
my number one, where's Andrew Green really been?
Well
He's going to
said.
be swapping chairs with Liam. Young Liam. How embarrassing. All right.
Nah, I'm not
my
embarrassed.
number one, and it will be filled with chagrin to find out that this has actually happened.
No, I can.
He has been secretly hosting a new Star Wars podcast called Anything But the Prequels.
Wow.
Actually, that's a really good idea. I should take that one and use it on my new podcast called "It's All About the Prequels."
Yeah.
Yeah, which is actually nothing about the prequels at all.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
In that podcast of yours, so
yeah,
no
the new
prequels.
one.
Do you still have Last Jedi in your podcast?
That's
Well, it's not a prequel.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll join anytime.
What about what about Rogue One?
Yeah, no, I don't. So I don't cover any prequels.
Yeah,
but I
Rogue
don't
One
talk-
is a prequel.
It's a Star Wars podcast that doesn't talk about Star Wars.
Okay. Much like ours, then I suppose.
Yeah, pretty similar. In fact, pretty similar. So.
The only
I've got a whole new
exception is the train scene from Solo.
Oh no, that's the only. Yeah, that and lightsabers. Yeah.
We haven't
Great
had a train scene conversation in many months.
Oh, we haven't. What we need to do is talk about the Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Train scene.
Oh, that hasn't
Yeah.
happened in a while.
No,
as
I
well.
know, right?
Yeah. All right. You can go ahead and fade out the track. And Liam, thank you for.
Nah, don't even worry about it. I'll just escape it.
Excellent. Very.
Yeah.
Why
Just
would
a
we
note
fade
to
it
our
out?
online listeners: if you can't hear Andrew, let us know, and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
fix the audio. But I think it's all right. It's
I
just
don't-
hard to tell when you're
I mean,
in the
it'd
same
be
room.
like the last how many episodes? It'll just be like normal.
You were getting really good at one point, Andy. So
Yeah.
it would suck to find out that was all been undone.
Of course. I'm doing.
No.
One job.
Liam is actually old, Deadeye Liam with the sound effects. Usually he's
pretty
very,
good.
very good.
Ooh,
pretty good.
have you seen Isaac? We've got some theories coming in online.
Oh,
of where
okay.
Andrew's
Wait.
been.
Interesting.
Here we go.
Interesting.
Okay.
From Matt Saxey. I
Okay,
don't
Matt.
know
Hello,
this
Matt.
person.
Okay.
I know Matt. Yeah, what does he
Okay,
reckon?
number one, he was locked in a toilet.
Actually, that's
Possible.
pretty. Yeah,
Not
no, that's
again.
fair. Like, I lost my keys.
Since February. Oof.
And the other one, I'm hoping you know this guy. His
Yeah,
friend Matt made him a drink made from tea, coffee, and Milo, and he went back in time.
Yeah,
Because what the drink was so powerful, it sent you back in time.
I'll have one of those.
Matt and I go way back. We'll go way
Clearly.
back, and he made me a drink. I was young at the time and foolish, like many young people are. And he said, "Oh, I'll make you a mocha," and I'm like, "Yeah, cool." So it was, I think, 2 or 3 tablespoons of like Nescafe 43, so top shelf coffee, and then half a cup of Milo. And then I think some sugar.
How
on
did the
top of
tea get in there?
that. I think he just dunked it in after he put the hot water in. It was a drink. Yeah, it was a drink. Don't recommend it.
I feel like this fits more for this one.
Yeah, no, that was me. That was me going back in time.
Free drink's
Yeah.
a free drink, man.
Yeah,
You just-
it was. Yeah, he said he'd make me a hot drink, and he certainly did.
All right. Ben, how are we doing for time at the moment?
We are 20 minutes in.
All right. So there was a little bit of rambling at the start, but I reckon we can fit all this in. Why not?
Yeah.
It's been a while, so let's fill up a show.
Who talks first? You talk first. I talk first.
I have a thought of the day.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
Oh, me too.
Did I cut you off? Sorry.
You did, but it'll be in my thought of the day, so you go first.
All right. Cantina in Mos Eisley, walks down. No droids in here. We don't serve their kind. No droids whatsoever.
Wow.
I wanna also remind you that Vader is more machine than man, right? Twisted and evil.
Interesting.
Is Vader allowed to be served in the cantina?
Yes.
Liam is just yes.
I don't think they have a choice.
Yeah.
Like if he walks in, he's going to be asking for like pan-galactic gargle blaster,
Mm.
and they're going to be serving him as many of those as he wants.
But like because they have their own rules, and you know that guy, he's a grumpy bartender. Will he give like the watered down, less good stuff to Vader, and he won't know
Spit in
the
it
difference?
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think he's going to be pretty angry,
Or is it
pretty
you know,
terrified. Sorry,
Vader comes storming in, I'll have one pan galactic whatever that was.
gargle blaster.
And he says to him, we don't serve your kind, get on out of here. Does Vader just kind of go, oh, and then walk, I feel like there's one day you catch him, he's had that awful day, all these things, and that was just the stick that broke the Bantha's back. And, he just walks on out of there sadly.
I feel like it would be the opposite. If it was that day, then he would just snap and he would destroy the whole place.
Yeah.
But if it was on a day where he's more in a good mood and he was like, oh, yeah, fair enough. I get it. This guy seems nice and well-intentioned. I'm just going to move on with my day.
Yeah, I'm just going to casually be, discriminatory towards, metallic sentient beings.
Well, all right, so final question then. So if he's more machine than man, he's a little bit organic still. He's a little bit man. Does he just get poured like a quarter drink or whatever for the 1/4 man that he is?
He does, and then he says to himself,
I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I imagine that like he could do party drinks, when you get the beer and you like pour it down the tube.
Yeah.
Like he wouldn't even like they would just pour it down and it'd go straight into his little box and there we go.
Well, yeah, we had this conversation before about what did the buttons on his chest do. He's like,
Yeah.
we don't serve your kind. That's fine. I brought my own.
It's like whiskey, coffee, Milo.
I reckon the guy would give him a drink because he'd be so curious to see how he's going to drink it. If he's going to take his helmet off, then he can see what it's like under the helmet. If not, then he'll get his curiosity satisfied one way or another, because how does Darth Vader have a drink?
Alone at the bar, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Well, he's swinging Bacta, so they just, who's to say that's not like vodka infused?
Yeah.
Vodka infused Bacta. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough. Ben, what's your thought of the day?
Well, it was more going to be asked, have we got a segment about the Industrial Light and Magic thing at all, or shall that be in my thought of the day?
Ooh. That was a bigger
It doesn't
conversation.
have to be that much of a segment, but up to you.
Let's leave that for the next episode.
All right, cool. All I'll say for now is just that the trailer came out. It looks really good, and I'm very excited.
Cool.
I've seen a trailer. I haven't seen the trailer, but I saw news about it. I'm kind of interested. There's a lot of other stuff coming out. Have you guys covered any of the skeleton crew or any of the other stuff that's
Just the
been
name.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And Jude Law's in it.
Yeah, and Jude Law's in it, and it's live action. So who knows? Who knows how that works?
Really?
Well, I gather so. I think that's what they talked about. Anyway,
Yeah, you're probably right.
I have a thought of the day. I have an exogorth,
Wow.
if you will. That's a callback.
That's the most passive aggressive I've ever heard.
Just I'll reserve
I haven't heard Exogorth been said in a long time. So
Yeah. So I want to suggest that the Skywalker family, without them, Kylo Ren wouldn't exist.
Well, duh.
No, but for a very specific reason, right? Like Kylo Ren is the manifestation of Ben Solo's PTSD.
So if he wasn't,
So if his family didn't treat him like trash, Kylo Ren wouldn't exist. So all right, so let me wind you back to episode 7. Leia and Han are talking about Ben, their son, and he's got so much Vader in him. How's the line go? There's too much Vader in him, or
There's
something.
too much of his father in him.
Well, his father's Han Solo.
Yeah, true.
So that doesn't work.
That was
Anyway,
on Lars' line. I was going to
so
say.
what they
Notice.
well, yeah. So there's so much Vader in him. So what do? They ship him off
No,
to
it's
his
not.
uncle.
It's a Baru line.
They-
Sorry.
yeah, it's a
Go on.
They ship him off to his uncle because, of course, you just get rid of your children. I've been trying to get rid of my children for weeks now.
I'll train them.
You are you willing? Do you know what? No questions asked. That's fine. I'll drop them off tomorrow. So they ship their only son off
Yeah.
You know, already, you know, there's too much Vader in him. He's angry. To his uncle, his only other familial relative, who he wakes up to standing over him with a laser sword.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Kylo Ren exists. And I would argue that if the Skywalker family weren't such terrible people, Kylo Ren wouldn't exist. If they just let Ben be Ben.
I hate to defend Last Jedi. Right.
Oh, I'm already. Yeah,
just-
go.
just don't then.
Please just don't. Go
I
ahead.
will be
Go ahead.
consistent as much as I can. And that's how you know that, I try to be open and honest about all these things. There is a line of dialogue where Luke is saying he looked deep into Ben's thing and he saw that Snoke had already turned his heart. So it was Snoke that corrupted him, even though... And that's why he
Would
reached
he-
out to slay him in his sleep.
But would he have been susceptible to Snoke if his family didn't abandon him to his uncle, who then tried to investigate his heart with a lightsaber above him?
Well, the
Yeah.
last point isn't relevant because his heart had already turned. But the first point is.
Anyway, I was thinking about that. I was talking to somebody about Star Wars, interestingly enough, and yeah, that kind of popped into the conversation.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm such a strong believer in like nurture above nature. I think there's like so many external things that can change a person. So yeah, you might be right.
Could be.
I may be crazy.
I'll drop the kids off at 7 o'clock tomorrow.
They'll be burning the place down promptly. It'll be,
Oh, yes, they will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well, there's 3 of you, and I've got 3, so you could each take one. Yeah. That's okay.
All right. Yeah, that's risky waters we're getting into there.
Teamwork.
Yeah.
Anything else from either of you? We're still in the opening
No,
thoughts. My
all
goodness.
good.
I'm okay.
All right.
I
Well,
had thoughts.
if you hadn't heard enough from Andy, here comes some more. We're jumping into Andy's corner.
Ahoy! Andy's corner. Where be me cannon? There be no cannon here.
Andrew's corner. This is where we learn. Andrew brings some external legends.
Is that brand new?
No, you've heard that before.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
It was fresh, and then
Ah, okay. Maybe it was only for...
Andrew shipped himself to
Yeah, then
somewhere.
I
and-
shipped myself to some place of 15 to 17 options. Yep.
There you go.
Enough of this.
Yeah, okay.
So Andy's got some lore here.
I do. I
Um,
do.
please.
Okay, so I messaged you on the chat when you said, hey, can you do a Legends thing? And I'm like, hey, is Quinlan Voss canon? You went, who? And so the answer to that is he is absolutely canon, but he's also very much embedded in Legends lore. So Quinlan Voss is, he think of like a tall dude with dreads. He's got this-
Tarzan.
Yeah.
Oh, he's the flippy dude from Clone Wars who's... okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's got a big yellow stripe across his face in the thing, or he should do, because that's part of his race. They have tribal tattoos that get painted on. Anyway, so he's actually a Jedi Master. Starts off as all people do, as a Padawan to a Jedi Master called Thulm. And then the Clone Wars breaks out, and he becomes a Jedi Knight and starts to
Wait,
train.
what?
He becomes a Jedi Knight at the...
Isn't Jedi Knight under Master?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
so he gets... I'm talking about him in the... Anyway.
So this is before he
Sorry, yeah,
became
you're
a
jumping
master.
around.
Before I became a master.
Okay,
so
okay,
I went
okay.
back to the beginning. He was a Padawan.
Okay.
Because that's where you start. Then he becomes, in the beginning of the Clone Wars, he becomes a Jedi Knight. He takes a Padawan called Ayla Secura, who you see in Revenge of the Sith. She's the blue chick that gets shot on the
She
jungle
dead.
planet.
Felucia.
On Felucia. She's very dead. So that's his Padawan. She becomes a master. She becomes a knight. He becomes a master eventually. In that intervening time between him becoming a Jedi Knight and a Jedi Master, he joins the Confederacy of Independent Systems.
No! Hit the gas button. Hit the enter
Where is
key
the gas
on the
button?
thing.
It is that one.
Yeah. So he becomes, essentially, he decides that he's going to join Dooku's cause as a bit of a double agent, as a spy, to try and weed out the second Sith. who because there's always two. There's always two.
Uh-huh.
They know Dooku's one. One of them, the other one got killed and burned up to a crisp on Naboo, which was Darth Maul.
So he infiltrates.
He infiltrates
the CIS.
Dooku knows about it.
Okay.
Dooku knows about it.
Okay.
He's got it pegged, but he joins the dark side and becomes part of the dark side and like has this whole journey. He's a very angry sort of person. He's got a lot of rage. One of the skills he has is called psychometry, where he can touch objects.
Okay.
Similar to the Fallen Order games, where you touch objects and you get a history of that object or impressions or
Like
sounds
Ray
and
with
types.
the knife.
Like Ray with a knife.
Yep.
So he's got psychometry. His skill, though, is that he can actually use psychometry on living beings. So, which is very... so that causes him a little bit of trauma because everyone needs a bit of trauma in their life.
And he gets everyone else's trauma because
he gets everyone else's trauma. Eventually works his way through that. Marries a person called Kayleen and has a son called Kolto Voss. Forbidden, right? Attachments. He actually in the Battle of Kashyyyk when Order 66 happens, he falls out of a Rorschach tree and hits the ground, and they presume he's dead. Turns out, nope, he's not. He just is very, very sore.
Yeah.
So he was first conceptualized. I first discovered him. Oh gosh,
You're wrestling with that mic.
This mic is anyway. I first found out really about him in a book called Dark Disciple, which goes into Sarge Ventress's story.
Cool.
Which is really, really cool. But he was first conceptualized when they wanted to write some Clone Wars material straight out of the Phantom Menace back in 2000.
Okay.
So back in the Star Wars comics, so Dark Horse were the comic series, the comic owners of that, and they did the Republic series and stuff like that. So the author and the artist chose a background character from the Phantom Menace. So if you go to Tatooine and you watch, the scene where Jar Jar Binks steals food from the
I
thing
think I can picture the
in
guy.
the desert. Yeah, but how would?
Yep.
Where he like just casually commits theft in front of everybody because he's a dirty. Anyway, moving on. There's a table of 3 individuals, and one of the individuals sitting at the table is a guy that looks like he's got dreadlocks and a yellow stripe across his face. They picked that guy and said, that's Quinlan Voss, and this is his background, and then created the character from there. And he had this massive series through the Dark Horse comics. He actually turns up he's referenced by Obi-Wan in Revenge of the Sith when he says, Master Voss went to whatever place, and he was the reason I chose him for this comment this segment is because he's also referenced again in the Obi-Wan series in episode 3 or 4 when they're starting on the path and he's touching the wall and he goes, "Oh, Quinlan was here." That's who he's talking about.
Wow.
Quinlan rescued Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan and Quinlan worked together quite a few times throughout the comic series that they had through the early 2000s.
He actually says that line. Quinlan was here.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what I was like, oh, that's right. Quinlan Voss exists.
That would have jumped out to me, that dialogue. I would have gone,
You'll
what?
have
Who?
to, yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a really quick line. It was really, and only because I knew the character did it kind of jump out at me. But yeah, that's Quinlan Voss. He's a really kind of interesting character, really kind of is polarized between light and his want of restoring the Republic and keeping the Republic safe, but also walks a very thin line with the dark side and, all that sort of stuff. Definitely recommend look him up, but he'll be in the Dark Horse comic series. He's in the Republic series of any of that. I think he's got his own couple of books, but yeah, Dark Disciple is probably the one that stood out to me as the first one.
Cool.
And that is Quinlan Voss.
Nicely done.
Well done, Ben.
I heard some sticky rumor about him possibly being in season 2 of Kenobi or whatever.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Ben did voice something a while back when Mandalorian was happening, and all of a sudden we see Ahsoka live action. I don't know if you were. I don't want to misrepresent your point here, Ben,
I
but
can't remember what I said. So go on.
something about like the casual viewer can't be expected to know who all of these niche characters are that we know from like Clone Wars or from books or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, probably the point I was making or would make is that it's fine to have them in there, but you have to explain in the show why they're relevant to the plot. You can't expect people to know the whole backstory. And so it's fine to have those characters, but
that's why
we need to understand why they're relevant to this story.
Yeah, that's why it would shock me if the line actually was he touches the wall and says Quinlan was here, because
that's more of an Easter egg, I guess.
Yeah, and definitely it's a little bit of an Easter egg, and because it's such a short phrase, it wasn't intended to be kind of stood out and kind of be part of. I think it's potentially just leading to more stuff. I don't know who would play Quinlan though.
Brendan Fraser.
I was just thinking that. Yeah,
I was
get him back in shape, and
I was going to say David Deegs, who's from Hamilton fame. Maybe
David Hasselhoff.
Oh, the Hoff. Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, cool. Why not? It's the kind of thing. It's not offensive to me at all when they bring in old characters or characters from the legends or any such thing. But yeah. Just checking this
part
scene.
3 of Obi-Wan, I think is.
to them? We're not sure. No one ever sees them again.
Have I missed it? Has it come and gone
I
already?
think it might be coming up.
All right,
here we go.
Oh.
Quinlan was here.
Yes, he helps now and again. Smuggling younglings.
Yeah.
Smuggling younglings.
There you go.
So, end of the start of the Clone Wars, he disappears on Kashyyyk with his wife and child, and that was kind of the end of his story until now. And apparently, he's smuggling Quinlan's on the path. Younglings on the path, not Quinlan's. I mean, maybe Quinlan's.
I mean, maybe bit of both.
Yeah.
Two examples I'll give, because the Grand Inquisitor was from Rebels and stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So that's a good example. If you haven't seen Rebels like me, you still understand who he is in this story. You know all you need to know.
Yeah.
And even characters like it's Lana, right? The lady.
Tala.
Tala, that's it.
Tala.
Yeah, close enough. Like Tala.
The right amount of syllables. You're right.
Characters like that, if she had been a Clone Wars character or whatever, then that still would have worked. If she had more backstory, because it doesn't really matter as long as you know, like the part she's playing in this story, whether if she's connected to other stuff, then those fans can appreciate it. If not, then it still makes sense anyway. So I think characters like that are a good opportunity to use.
Actually, something.
Stuff,
Sorry, one thing I did forget to mention in my little snippet. George Lucas likes the character of Quinlan Vos.
Of course he does.
Of course he does. But he had him. They got to the stage of doing the animated storyboards. There was a scene with him in the animated storyboards, which they eventually cut. But yeah.
Well, you asked who would play Quinlan Vos live action. And we were also talking about how George Lucas has never done a cameo.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that fits at all.
Oh boy.
No.
Leaving that right alone. Transition noise, man. Transition. All right. Here we jump into Kenobi episode 6. All right. Do you know, I have a Kenobi lead-in thing that I forgot to put. You remember our Kenobi track?
We have a Kenobi track?
Yeah. Do you remember that? If I stall us, let's see Liam on the fly here. Do you remember I told you how you click on a thing and add a sound effect?
Yep.
Go to
right-click on the thingo.
We just click on it. It's a touchpad.
We can do it as the outro to the segment.
Maybe.
Look,
True.
so far it's doing nothing for me.
No, you click on a button that you want to assign something to, and then click lower down is open sound effect. Oh boy, I should be tech support. I'd be good at this.
Yeah.
And then go to the desktop, and I think it's called like Kenobi intro or Kenobi something. You can find it. But we're going to be talking Kenobi episode 6. Thanks, Ben. That's a good idea. We'll do it as an outro. Interestingly, there isn't a skip previously on for the last episode, so it wants you to get
Wasn't there?
all of the fine hitting points from the last couple of episodes they want you to see. So interesting. I will ask first, Andrew, because
Yes.
you've been away for every single one of these episodes.
I have. I'm up to date though.
Great.
Everything's fine.
So-
All is well.
Everything up to this episode. Did you watch the trailer?
I did watch the trailer.
Okay. All right.
I did watch the trailer. I haven't rewatched the trailer since
Yep.
watching the series.
Okay. So from episodes 1 to 5, briefly, would you kind of let us know, like, you know, engagement wise throughout it, you know, what did you think of certain characters and
Yeah, look, I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, spoiler, I enjoyed the whole thing. Enjoyed the whole lead in. I mean, the problem I think with Kenobi, or the challenge with Kenobi, not the problem, was that it had to sit between episode 3 and episode 4. It had a really kind of tight storyline. We know that Obi-Wan survives. We know that Leia survives. We know that Luke survives. We know all of this, but it's all the filling around that, who from that. So I think the character of Tala in particular, super sympathetic, like really enjoyed her character. Was ashamed to see her take one for the team.
Ashamed.
Well, I wasn't ashamed.
Shame.
It was a shame. I thought Vivian Blair, who played Leia, was an outstanding choice. I enjoyed even though she, you know, doesn't run away in a forest particularly well. I thought that the rest of it was, you know, she was the right amount of attitude without being overbearing or becoming too overly precocious. I liked the beats were really good. I didn't see too many kind of down moments like where we've had with the previous series, where the middle kind of tends to be a bit fillery. I didn't feel like there was that much in here because there was 6 episodes. They had to hit, you know, certain benchmarks. I enjoyed the whole lot. It was, I wasn't looking at from a particularly technical or critical point of view. I was just watching it for the sake of enjoying the story and enjoying to see where they were going to take Obi-Wan and that journey into Alec Guinness. Yeah.
All right. And that's takes us into episode 6, which we will have a chat about. I have it playing softly in the background where we're gonna be having a chat about it. So can I preface this whole conversation by saying, like, we try our best to be positive, to give props where props are due, to give fair criticisms and not just sort of be whiny about it. But ultimately, it's a franchise that we really enjoy. You know, both old and new things. There is so much in there that we can find enjoyable. But then along with that, unfortunately, there are going to be a lot of missed marks due to some of it is preconceived conceptions of what we think the show should be. And then some of it is just downright, you know, production goofs, I'm going to say. I'm going to preface this. Now that we've seen the final episode, this whole show for me has been the risk of sounding dramatic. It's kind of been a disaster for me. Production side of it. They've had some really cool ideas, but the execution on almost every one of those ideas has been undercut by either poor CGI, poor scoring, horrible direction of photography, choreography. Even some of the script lines have just been like, why did you do that? Why did you put that there? And so, unfortunately, there's been a series of like great costuming. The whole thing, I'll say that, great costuming throughout. Scenery, great scenery. Ewan McGregor's fine. Like he did a fine job. I wish the whole thing had been just about him and not been Go Save Leia. Also like Reva's side story as well. So like here we were expecting an Obi-Wan show that he's in the title, but no, we get him after other people, I feel. And so that was my disappointment with the show.
I feel like though, if it had just been a show about him running away, that would have been like that was essentially the Last Jedi, right? Where they just spent the whole movie running away.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that should have been.
But I think there needed to be some kind of core conflict that was outside of him, that for the show to kind of move along. Does that make any sense?
Yes, but with the focus always being him.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we want to open up on this, the last survivors of this planet, or the resistance or whatever, they're running away.
There's always the last. It's always the last of them.
The remnants, the very
It happens all the time.
And this opening scene did not connect with me at all. This idea of self-sacrifice is great with the Jedi and him wanting to sacrifice himself selflessly, saying, they want me, not any of you, so just let me go down and, do my thing. But then to do with like the directing and the general feel and like the music behind it, none of it connected emotionally to me. I didn't feel like it was this grand sacrifice. It felt like the story demands that we need to separate him from the rest so that we can do another Vader battle and stuff like that. That's just what it felt like.
Well, part of it for me is because they already had just done that at the end of the last episode. For them to all escape, then he went in to hold off the people who are invading the compound, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And so it kind of felt like a repeat of, oh, okay, we've just done this. He's going and sacrificing himself so the others can get away, and now he's doing it again.
I feel like they could have dealt with that in a different way other than him just separating himself. He could have moved more towards an attack sort of perspective rather than a run, because I mean we've just done that, but it also lends a little bit more. Because Vader makes the choice to follow just him, and everyone moves an entire Star Destroyer to follow this one fleeing craft rather than the entire Resistance, whatever. Tactically, I'm with the Grand Inquisitor. Like, yes, it's Obi-Wan. Well, why don't you take the shuttle and a squad of your men and go on and this
Logistics aside,
this Imperial Star Destroyer if we take that avenue, that could have still happened, except Obi-Wan comes and attacks the ships and forces the Star Destroyer to focus on him rather than the fleeing civilians or whatever.
Sure.
I think that would have been a better direction for that story, that part of the story to take.
Well, I mean, you talk about the sacrifice of like Tala and whatnot, and like Liam and I were covering this the other day, and it's very much like she should have been introduced from episodes 1 or 2 and given us plenty of time to get to know her and connect with her.
Wasn't she introduced? Because she
At the end of episode 3, and then
didn't she save them from Freck? Zach Braff?
Which was in 3.
Was it in 3?
Yeah.
Because at the end of 2 is when
I thought that was...
he finds out that Anakin's still alive.
True.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it ends
because episode 1 and 2 are connected, aren't they? Yeah, cool.
I can understand the confusion.
Yeah, cool. That's, in release order, I'm thinking episode 2, but that was actually episode 3.
Week 2.
Yeah, week 2 is what I was thinking. Never mind. Continue on. You were saying.
So, we have Obi-Wan saying goodbye to Leia on the ship here. The old, I'll see you again, don't you worry. Yeah, pretty much what you said about, peeling away and Vader saying, nope, we're going to go after Kenobi. It's where he touches down on the ground. So again, we got some pretty cool CGI here, like establishing shots of the planet and all of that. This looks all very Star Warsy to me. It was like, tick, well done. And what ensues is very much the same as well.
It was a very dark episode, in terms of
lighting wise.
Like everything was dark, and I remember watching it. I actually turned the brightness on my monitor up so I could actually.
And then they ignited their lightsabers and your eyes started melting.
Yeah, so that's why I haven't been around, guys. I just couldn't see for a while.
I'm blind.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
So you talk about it needing to fit in between episode 3 and 4. And Vader has the line episode 4, when I left you, I was but a learner. Now I'm the master, right?
Yeah.
So there needed to be a final meeting between the two of them. If that was referring to the time before this, that was pretty pathetic. So I was glad that we had something here.
Yeah.
Where he really got schooled by Obi-Wan. And the line that we get from Obi-Wan here
Have
saying,
you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
I will do what I must.
Oh,
that coupled with his stance thing,
Yeah.
finally, it's like, all right, now we're getting...
Yeah. What's interesting about this, if I can jump ahead a little bit in the story, if that's okay,
Yeah.
is he starts off in his, 2-finger point attack with lightsaber above his head.
Sarisu.
I knew Liam would jump in.
Yeah, but he moves to Shine, which is the next one, which is the one that he actually defeats Vader with, which is typically Anakin Skywalker's form. And yeah, there's just a bit more. I mean, there's a lot of passion in this battle, but there's just the follow up to this. He kind of lets himself go. He's very reserved and careful and calm. And
Again, what you have here is a sick premise. The lighting, I think, is cool. The setting is pretty awesome. But I just wish they would have given us, a full shot of, them like 4 or 5 meters back. Give us like a 5-second long shot of them doing a well choreographed piece where they do their thing, rather than all this up close swing, clash, flare of all of this.
like a wide shot, essentially.
Yeah.
Similar to the Obi-Wan Darth Maul battle in Rebels, where they had the wide shot. And
Sure. I mean, like, what is Star Wars if not for wide shots, you know?
Planets, lightsabers.
I don't know. Yeah.
It took me over half the episode to work out why Reva was going after Luke.
Yes, me
and
too.
even when I worked it out, I was like, oh, okay.
Why? I didn't work it out.
Well, the best I've got is that she didn't get a revenge on Anakin before, and this is the best she can do is take out his son to get revenge on him, killing all the young ones.
which he doesn't even know about.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it doesn't confirm that though. Like she doesn't. There's no.
I could be wrong, but that's the best I've got to work with.
That's one of the
Like,
downsides.
I think for this, like, I think that whole Reva thing should have stopped in the previous episode. We should just have her not, like, that was the end, not necessarily the end of her story, but the end of her story in this series should have stopped there where she finds about Luke, and then that's it. Like, she didn't need to. We could have had more of this, and more establishing of the conflict between Vader and Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, yeah, cool stuff with, visually, it looks sick. The strain that you see with all of these rock lifting things is pretty nuts.
Can I touch on that a bit?
Yeah.
Just first of all, there's some really positive stuff towards the end of this, so we will get to some positive stuff because I really liked a lot of the episode. But just a negative or something I'd really like us to get into more in future Star Wars content is just like reverence for the Force, for lack of better words.
Yes.
And it being like, and because at the start of this series, he was really struggling with the Force, like catching Leia took everything he had. And
Well, he had to reconnect.
yeah, and so he's been reconnecting a bit, but now for him all of a sudden to just be like throwing all these rocks around and doing this stuff, it just kind of, I don't know, it makes the Force feel a bit cheap to me. Whereas if you think that's part of what made Empire Strikes Back so great is just the whole, the way Yoda explains the Force and how it's, about this thing that's greater than you are and... Yeah, I don't know. Just when Yoda lifts the X-Wing out of the swamp, that's like this big moment. And it's like, oh, wow, Yoda's really strong with the Force because he can lift this thing out and concentrate. And now you've just got these guys throwing rocks around and causing avalanches all over the place.
Vader does do that in Empire as well when he's like throwing all the stuff at Luke,
Yeah, it's like little pieces. And I don't know. And he's like, there's just something about it that's a bit different, I feel. And it would have been maybe interesting because they already set up that Obi-Wan was kind of struggling with the Force.
Yeah.
To then that have to be a thing where this moment where he really has to stop and and he has to focus and then he can throw a rock or something.
But he gets angry after this. Like he's just been buried in all of this rubble. But he has to get angry. He has to kind of tap into that dark side or that emotion that he had when he fought Darth Maul. He has to tap into that to defeat. And I think, that's the only way he can progress forward because he's been such a calm and patient individual. Always standing back and considering, whereas he uses his emotion in this battle and we're about to see it now, where he rips himself. He uses that connection with his attachments to
So yeah, how does he get out from under the rocks again?
Blows them up.
He blows them up.
He's holding it up and then he just
he just
because this for me would be a good moment of he's been maybe if it was the opposite, the first half of the battle he was just kind of angry at Anakin and he wasn't fully giving himself to the Force. He was just angry and so he was fighting well, but then Anakin got the better of him. And then in this moment, if he has to, stop, take a deep breath, connect with the Force, let go of his anger, and then he gets this power, and then he can come back and win the fight. Something like that, which is kind of the complete opposite of what happened.
Well, you talk about reverence for the Force and everything, and we see like throughout the saga movies, that happen where the character just takes a moment, goes and meditates, closes their eyes and like really relaxes.
And that's what's so special in the first one as well, when Luke turns off his monitor and then
trust in the Force.
Feel the Force, and then he gets the shot right because he lets go of what he was holding on to.
I think it's a little bit different for Obi-Wan though. He has to remember why this is important because he's got some serious PTSD of his own. Like he was completely detached to the point where he let some other Jedi who was seeking assistance get himself snaffled up and hung from a crossbar. He has to actively make the choice to care now. So now he's using his emotion to care for Leia, his connection to Luke, to actually connect into the Force to now kind of jump up against Vader. And you can see him now in this secondary battle. He's using more of
far more aggressive,
far more emotional, less of his calm. What was it, Sarisu?
Sarisu, yeah.
Sarisu. It's far more. It's just more.
Yeah.
It's those rocks, man. Those rocks. Are
on that note, I cannot remember what form it is, but I believe it's Qui-Gon's.
Oh, so I've heard it's Anakin's,
which is Gemso.
Maybe
7.
This to me, like Vader just cowering there, whimpering, like being like, "Please stop!"
Just
one thing I'll say to that is that
that's just
when you explain it this way, and particularly having the flashback, he's seeing Luke and Leia. Okay, why am I doing this? And then he gets the power. It's not strictly bad writing in itself. I just feel like it would be fine in any other movie, but it doesn't make the best of Star Wars. And in Star Wars, we have the Force, which it's different to just any old like revenge movie or like, I've got to save the kid just cause. It's like you've got all these elements to work with, and the fact that they just use kind of a fairly generic remember what you're fighting for.
That's the Spider-Man trope pretty much.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Yeah. So it would work in another movie, but like, and it works here enough that it's just not making the best of what they have to work with, I feel, and what makes Star Wars special.
So a cool feature that they added here. So Obi-Wan is mashing the B button here, and he's crushing Vader's chest plate. And one of the additions, like where I'll give them a nod, is you start to hear that wheezing noise that Vader makes in Episode 6.
what I don't know is why he didn't just go straight for the kill shot. Like, is there? I mean, I
Why
know
Vader didn't know why
why
Obi-Wan didn't.
Obi-Wan didn't. Like, he's stabbing him with the handle of the lightsaber. the
Mike,
hilt.
it's not the Jedi way, right? So he's trying to subdue him. He's trying to make sure that he doesn't, you know.
I don't know though.
'Cause initially he
he's
said-
kind of beyond that.
Yeah, but he was saying like prior to that when he was trying to communicate with Qui-Gon, he's like, it's either me or him now.
Right.
So
And
he's gone
he will
down there
do
with the
what he
intention
must.
of he's gone down there with the intention of one of us is going to have to die.
Right. Yeah.
But yet he had that option at the end of this and didn't do any of that. So
Maybe it's like with the view of if he leaves me no choice, then I will do what I must type thing, you know? So at this point, because he's had some rocks thrown at him, his chest plate's all damaged up now, and now he's, on the
he's
ground.
His shiny shoots.
Can I backtrack?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My one main gripe. The lightsabers, man.
Every
the
time.
lightsabers.
What about him?
What's wrong?
They don't cut properly in this. That was my one issue with this episode. Like, you see that part where like Vader slams the floor.
Yeah.
Not when he uses the Force, but when he slams his lightsaber on the floor, he cracks the floor around the saber. But there's no like cut. There's no glow.
Scorch
from the,
mark on
yeah,
the-
there's
yeah.
nothing. When Vader throws the rock at Obi-Wan, it sounds like a baseball bat hitting the rock, and the rock just explodes. You don't see any scorching, any glow.
Yeah. That's a good
it
point,
bugs
actually.
me so much. I can't unsee it. I'm like, come on, guys.
How'd you feel when it took him like 3 slashes to kill a stormtrooper?
That's what I was going to say. Like, it takes me back to that episode where like smacked it once and the saber seemed to rebound off the stormtrooper.
Yeah, what he needed to do is he needed to give that stormtrooper a good slap on the helmet because that'll knock him down in one hit.
Apparently, that's how you do
that's
it, right?
That's all you need to do.
That's
just
canon.
slap him across the helmet.
Oh gosh,
That's
But
their
yeah,
weak spot.
it thoroughly irritated me. Like, I really did enjoy the fight, and I really did enjoy this episode, but that really bugged me.
Have we ever seen stormtroopers being taken down by lightsabers, like explicitly? I feel like maybe in the sequels they get like slashed and fall down or something. But
I'm sure in the like Order 66 there was a bit of hacky slashy choppy chop.
Yeah, there definitely was that. In Force Awakens, Finn like runs one all the way through.
yeah, I feel like because stormtroopers have armor, I feel like I'm all right with that, with it taking 2 or 3 hits to properly take them down. And then like George Lucas says about the battle droids, they'll Jedi take them down like butter, because the battle droids are just these thin, stupid droids. But like, as far, I don't mind a stormtrooper because of the armor. Maybe it's got something that is just a bit harder to cut through with a lightsaber. I'm all right with that.
Yeah,
We need.
I can see it. Yeah.
If this sets the precedent for that moving forward, then that's okay. But up until now, you know, in canon we see as soon as you pretty much ignite, off comes the limb. You know, so like.
But not with full armor like stormtroopers.
It's true, but it is a bit of a shock to go from one to the other. Where
My only other gripe with the lightsabers is they look too proppy. Like, I feel like they're too well formed. There's not enough, like in the all the movies and stuff, they have a bit more of a glow around them. So they don't seem as coherent as they appear in this episode.
Yeah.
In this series, rather.
The only thing I can say to that is that every trilogy they look completely different. If you
That's
actually
also
put
true.
them
Yeah.
side to side, the
Yeah, that's
effects
also true.
look quite different.
It's the same as Vader's suit changing every episode.
Yeah.
Here we have here as well something which again I'll give props for, the addition of, well, rather the splicing of Hayden Christensen's voice with James Earl Jones here.
So good.
So his mask has just been cut open here, and I'm going to play a little bit here. We'll see how we go. Ben, you've got the audio there. This was powerful to me.
Me too.
It was such a great addition.
For all the things that we say could have been better, like rectified with this one scene.
Yeah, this was very good. The shock horror on his face.
Oh.
Anakin's gone. I am what remains.
Oh,
And like the
Goosebumps.
changing of his eyes, you know?
yeah.
No, Ewan's a good actor.
I'm tearing up.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry too, Ewan.
I'm sorry, Anakin. For all of it.
Now, do we see a tear here on his face?
Oh, well, on
Wait for it.
Anakin's
Yeah,
face.
wait for it. There, see, glistening.
Mm.
Is that
No.
Yeah. I'll take it. That looks like a tear.
Obi-Wan.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker.
Looks so evil, man.
The grin, right?
I did.
The little smirk.
Oh, chilling.
Yeah. It was actually even a little bit disturbing seeing it the first time. Like this here. It was like,
Same way,
oh.
I will destroy you.
Then my friend is truly dead.
Nice poetry there for Luke's line in episode 6. Then my father is truly dead. He says.
Goodbye.
And then he walks away.
And
Do
calls
they
him
keep
Darth.
talking after this?
No.
Oh, okay.
And that's the first time he calls him Darth.
Yeah.
And like,
I like earlier in the scene as well the whole thing. I'm not your failure. Like I killed Anakin.
Yeah.
Even though like it could seem a little bit cheesy on paper, it really works. I thought, and then obviously ties into the whole he betrayed and murdered your father. Like it's less of a stretch now. Everyone's saying that. It's like oh yeah, okay.
Because in his mind, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Because he acknowledges, he says goodbye, Anakin, and then goodbye, Darth.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, I
Acknowledging.
didn't notice that.
Yeah. So on that last walk away was him saying goodbye, Darth.
Yeah.
Like that was the cut. Like
Yeah.
that's
You're no
Darth
longer
Vader.
Anakin.
That's not Anakin Skywalker, and that's his acknowledgement of that.
It-
which yeah.
And the
It
fact-
also like
Oh, yeah, sorry.
pardon me. It also makes what happens in episode 4 when he says, now I am the master. He says, only a master of evil, Darth. It's like, why are you calling him Darth for? That's strange, but yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is good.
yeah,
But it's
And
also
then-
like not even giving him like much of an identity. So I'm not calling you Vader. You're not Vader. Like you're Darth. That's,
first name Darth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I like, obviously, this ties up, from the first episode. Obi-Wan's got all this guilt and PTSD, feeling like he let Anakin down, but now he can sort of let go of that because Anakin himself has said, "Nah,
Yeah.
like this was my decision. I'm not your failure." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
Yeah, but I don't was that the last vestige of Anakin Skywalker giving him some form of absolution or
Yeah.
some form of, and then the Vader comes through and
That's how
Gets
I've taken
angry
it because
again.
we get at the end of it the proper Imperial March theme.
oh yeah,
yeah, good
So
point.
that really signifies to me, okay, yep, he's let go of Anakin completely. Because I read that throughout this series, it was supposed to be a conflicted Vader, which does make a lot of sense. Seeing how he fought, like he didn't fight like the cold, calculated Vader. He fought like Anakin.
this isn't a complaint, but it's just a funny thing to think about, and it's just a movie. Conflicted accents as well, because James Earl Jones is full on British, and then Hayden Christensen's American, and so when the voice is switching, it's like,
he's a Mississippi guy, James L. Jones.
oh, is it? I don't know. Whatever it is. Oh, maybe at least as Darth Vader he does a different accent. I don't know, but they sound different. Is all.
Yeah, very
Maybe
different.
I'm wrong about it being British, but like.
It was a nice
Skywalker
touch.
versus Skywalker.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was a nice touch though, having kind of both those voices either singly by themselves during that or meshed together in some way.
Yeah.
It was a good touch. Yeah.
So then, to finalize the episode, we have Reva still on Tatooine chasing after little Luke. He's fallen, I think, and is
He
unconscious.
felt, she knocked out basically caused an avalanche. He fell down, knocked
Gotcha.
himself out.
Gotcha.
And then she has her whole flashback on, oh, it's me lying there, and oh, Anakin Skywalker.
Well, first, I mean, this is a small problem. Like, just in the whole film world, right? The way that they treat people falling unconscious and being knocked out, they just like, you get knocked out, and then they wake up later and, oh, that's fine. Getting knocked out and falling asleep is such a dangerous thing to have happen to you. People wake up and have forgotten how to speak or have forgotten how to walk, you know, and like, it's not a trivial thing.
Have you seen the
Concussion's a
Tintin
problem.
movie?
No.
That's a fun one to watch with that.
Like
Mike
every
gets knocked
5
out
minutes.
like 10 times in the movie.
Yeah.
Brain damage ahead.
Yeah. Which, do you know, this entire series, I've not once said spoilers ahead for any single episode.
No,
Wow.
look
All
at
our
this
listeners
point.
are just like, no.
I think our listeners would know that at this point
There'll be one.
there'd be. I don't think we've ever done a consistent spoilers ahead
Oh, we have.
prior to any of the things that we've talked about.
I don't know, man.
I think
Mandalorian, we were great. Book of Boba Fett. and all
Were
that.
we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Anyway, to that one person who was listening along and then, hey, oh, you know,
Sorry.
sorry.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, Reva can't bring herself to kill Luke.
Just a note, we are going fairly over time, but that's all right.
All right, we'll skim through the last. There's one bit we really need to talk about here later on. Point being, Reva can't do it. It was something as predictable as a sunrise. You know,
Well, you can't kill Luke Skywalker. He's got to
exactly.
He's got to kill himself on the Jedi Temple thing in Episode 8.
Yeah.
Well said.
It's an alternate reality, I believe.
Oh, okay.
The same one where George Lucas is a. So back on Mustafar now, we have. Is this Ian McDermott doing?
Oh, it'd have to be.
Is it?
It would have to be.
Doesn't look like him.
I thought it did.
Yeah, so
I
did
thought
Yeah,
that,
no,
I
that
thought it
looks
was
like
him.
episode
I thought it was him,
6.
but without the teeth.
Yeah.
His teeth look too good.
Okay.
Really? How do
Yeah.
you even see his teeth?
Well,
When you see a close up of his noggin, don't you worry.
Ah.
Wait for it.
You seem agitated.
Yeah, that's definitely
friend.
McDermott.
He
That's
will
like
not
episode
evade
1
me
sounding.
again.
I wonder if
See?
your thoughts
Man, the teeth really just.
They're too straight and too clear. See?
Wow, yeah, they're
Wow,
been
Leo.
using Colgate.
Yeah. Oral B.
Not a sponsor, but they could be.
Yeah.
if you
Yeah, I guess. Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely Ian.
To be fair, he's probably the easiest one to like throw like some wrinkles on and
Imagine if that was George Lucas.
Oh.
Yeah, it's been George Lucas this whole time.
the whole time.
The whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, farewell to Leia on
Yeah.
Alderaan again.
Yeah, it's like just touching on that really briefly. I like that in the sign off. He says, you know, next time we talk, you have to pretend as though we've never met.
Yeah.
Does he?
Which-
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because then General Kenobi, you served my father in the
Yeah.
Clone Wars. Like it's able to tie into that, which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. And then same thing with again Obi-Wan here on Tatooine. He, you know, finally gets together with he gets along with Owen or whatever. Meets Luke, comes strolling up, and in the freaking one of the last lines of the thing, gives us what we've all been wanting.
hello there.
Oh.
That's something, just for the whole series overall, I'm really happy with how they've handled it. I think we touched on it before. They almost maybe took it too far with not doing references or musical themes and stuff. I think the music side of it they could have done a bit more with, but I like that they just didn't do constant memes and quotes, because every other line from the prequels has become a meme now.
Because
so
I
it'd
think-
be so easy to do.
I think it becomes a distraction at some point where you go, oh, there's a line, and there's a line, and like you're not actually watching it for the story. Whereas I was able to kind of sit back and, you know, I loved having this at the end.
Yeah.
Because it was a nice little tie back from, you know, from all the other stuff that we've seen. But I was able to actually watch the series without having to wonder, oh, is there another reference? And like, just,
So rides off into the sunset, and then finally, it's funny. I was listening to episode 89 or whatever of the Astromech show we were doing ages back now. When I was predicting, I said we were talking about will Liam Neeson be in the show. I said absolutely, he's got to be his Force Ghost. Liam reckoned maybe just as a voiceover, but I said no, it's going to be the real thing. It's going to be short, but it's going to be there.
Validation.
Profit, or Disney's listening to our show.
That's a 200 IQ play right there.
Oh,
Was that a Brooklyn Nine-Nine quote? Is that what you're doing?
No, I'm pretty sure that was Jerry Stiller
Master
from
Qui-Gon.
Seinfeld.
Close.
there you go. Liam Neeson, as we last saw,
Well.
pretty much.
Took you long enough.
Beginning to think you'd never come.
I was always here, Obi-Wan. You just were not ready to see.
There you go. I like that he's got all
You'll
of
never
his
come.
belt attachments and everything still. Why does he need them as a Force Ghost?
He needs that women's lug shaver just to keep himself tidy.
True.
I like the memes where he's wearing a umbrella hat.
Yeah,
with cocktails.
yeah.
The memes of that are
I've
brilliant.
not seen that.
Have you not?
It's
I'll
from
find one,
behind
I'll
the
send it.
scenes of Phantom Menace in Tatooine. He's got a pink sunnies and a colourful umbrella.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
A bottle of water or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. Well, okay. So we'll probably have another conversation about this in a following episode just because there's more to talk about. I'm really going to try and succinctly get to the bottom of what my disappointment is with this show overall. I want to lead it, we'll do it in another episode, but if you enjoyed it, if any of you enjoyed it, great. I'm happy for you that if you got what you wanted out of it, that's great. We're not the show to say that you're not allowed to enjoy this because we don't like, or for whatever reason.
Unless it's about the prequels. And then
Hey.
that's strong
Oh, yeah.
opinions.
You can take
I'm a
another
special
couple of months
guest.
off now.
No, I might just do that.
Packaging back up, packing tape.
No, not yet.
Please not the styrofoam. Or put the styrofoam.
Leave a hole in the bubble wrap.
Yeah.
No.
Well, yeah. So, any final thoughts on that, gentlemen?
Only what we've said in the past, and I know there's a fan edit out there now, is that just I feel like it would have been a lot better as a movie.
Yeah.
And just to put that extra bit of time and care into it and do less of it, better quality would have been.
And the one tell for that Liam brought up the other week is the flashback they have of episode 2 Hayden Christensen. You've got the perfect template there to do a wonderful deepfake, and they should have done it. They should have de-aged the heck out of him, but instead we got older actor Hayden Christensen, and that to me was such a missed mark where it's like...
It was just jarring, I think.
Very
it
much
just
so.
took me out. I'm like, okay. I mean, I was okay with it. I thought the scene was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely detracted from the fact that it wasn't.
Well, an edit already
OG.
exists. Liam brought to my attention on YouTube where just, again, some guy just went and
About
did it
24 hours
the
later,
next
yeah.
day. And it looks so much better.
In his bedroom. It's so
Some
funny,
dude
but
in
it's
his
true.
bedroom.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
We were this close to greatness.
It's funny because I don't really care about Liam Neeson. Like, obviously, he looks older and his beard looks
Well,
a
Eric,
bit
Liam
funny.
Neeson doesn't care about you. That's a very, very aggressive attitude. to have.
The phone starts ringing.
He's-
I don't care about you either, Isaac.
I will find you.
He's got a very particular set of skills.
Yes,
I don't know
well-
if you'd want to upset him.
Looking like a 30-year-old man is not one of them, apparently.
Oh. No, he was 60. He was old
Yep.
in canon.
Yep. All right.
And he's old now. So
I
that
have
works.
always said that Liam Neeson is one of the top 6 as far as like action heroes, that you just don't mess with. And I stand by that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take that. I need to get some Obi-Wan Qui-Gon lines in the keyboard. That'd be good.
Yes, of course.
Do you have to lead us out of there? Did you find the Kenobi track? You did find it. Wow.
I found 2 more. I found this
Okay.
and
Goodness gracious me.
You're right. That's way better than the Kenobi thing. Okay.
Why didn't we think of that before?
No disintegrations. We're going to finish off the show with.
No disintegrations.
All right then. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the show where we bring something that we like about Star Wars to finalize what has been quite a hefty show. Indeed, it has been. But we welcome back Andy and, or send off Andy, depending on if he's...
Who knows?
Never to
Maybe
be-
I'll lock myself out of the car again.
Maybe.
Yep.
It could happen to anyone.
Yep.
I'll lead us away, and followed by Liam, Ben, and Andy. You can take it away.
Wow, what
Andy.
an honor.
Oh, so I start.
No, you can take the show away.
Right, okay. Okay.
Think about what you've done.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. So, Vader's line in episode...
And we're done.
Liam! Vader's line in episode 4, when they're in the trench run, he's in his TIE Advance right behind Luke, and he's zeroing in with his targeting computer. Beep, beep, beep. He's got him. It would have been so easy for the writers to just say, like, prepare to die or something, whatever. And that would have been pretty corny. But his line, I have you now, I think is just such a Vader line.
Yeah.
Each time I hear it, it's just such an authoritative, this is the next chess move. Boom, I have you now. And which is great, which is why, when he gets tossed aside, he's like, what? So, yeah. Which undercuts the...
And then quickly runs away like the...
His spaceship's spinning out of control. Right?
Yeah.
I like it.
He
That's a
tried
good
spinning.
line. I've
So-
got a
It
new
was an
appreciation.
Liam.
In the spirit of Obi-Wan series, the one that I've been hanging on to is thin neck lightsabers.
Thin neck lightsabers.
Yeah, like Obi-Wan's in particular. Where you've got the little emitter at the top, but then it goes into this little thin part.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah, they just look cool.
You remember when we reviewed lightsabers together? We did the whole S tier rating.
Yes.
Yeah, back in the day, a while ago now.
That was a while.
We had that exact conversation about thin emitter necks or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, they're just nice looking.
premium.
Cool. Cool. I have opinions about that, but this is the no disintegrations.
I'm glad you remember the rules of the segment.
This is the no disintegrations. Yeah.
Benjamin.
I like that Greedo... democracy. Yeah, no. I like that Greedo speaks a completely different language and that the whole scene plays out in subtitles.
Yeah.
I think it's just... It sort of adds to the world building a bit that everyone just doesn't conveniently speak English and teaches kids to read as well.
Do you think, though, this scene with... The scenes with the Force Ghosts would have been better if they'd done it in some form of mime. That would have been... Can you imagine?
Well, Luke just being like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I imagine, like, Qui-Gon.
Just
Yeah.
playing charades. Like,
That would
Yeah.
make the Luke shoulder brush even better in
Yeah,
Last
no,
Jedi,
yeah.
if that's his only way to communicate.
So, quick little something, and this is not a disintegration, but
okay.
just a quick question. In the original Star Wars, that scene with Greedo subtitled, it's in the cool yellow and black subtitling. But now in the Disney Plus version, the most recent edition of it, it's just captioned subtitling with a black box with white text over the top of it.
No.
I wonder why they did it. Is my
Probably,
I like
probably
to see them both.
it's probably more of a cosmetic thing. So that way it ties in with the rest of...
Well, maybe we'll come back
I
to
don't know.
that next time when we talk about the light and magic thing, because there's a whole conversation there about original versions of things and all that. So
Andy, what do you got?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
You've
I
had some
don't-
while to think
I
about.
have. Well,
You can't say you haven't.
I've had several months to think about. It. No, look, I think for me, the Obi-Wan series kind of solidifies a little bit. I like all the well done tie-ins. So for Obi-Wan with the hello there at the end, the Han Solo dice from Last Jedi. All those little tie-ins, those little Easter eggs that are, not super in your face and are just there for their own flavor and just allow the audience to acknowledge them and then move on. They don't create too much of a ripple in the story. They're not integral or anything. I like those. I think that's something that Star Wars is getting, particularly if they take the same lead of Obi-Wan, Star Wars is getting better at in terms of not pandering to the fan service, but acknowledging the fan service and the fans and still moving through their story.
Well, the more Star Wars content they pump out as well, the more things they have to reference, right? So
Exactly right. I'm interested to see what the Taika Waititi movie comes out with, because that's not going to be anything connected to anything, which I'm very excited
That
about.
is a side note. Did you guys see the article about Natalie Portman?
And how many of you believed that article? 'Cause
I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's 100%.
I want to believe it.
Yeah, so why Taika totally just trolled everybody and just like told the story like it was true. But yeah, troll. It was a troll. He was
What a troll.
Yeah, he's not the
What a
the whatever brothers. Who did Game of Thrones at the end?
the D&D boys.
Yeah.
Mm.
The whole meme being there that they forgot what content they were working on.
They forgot all of their work.
Yeah.
The lore beforehand. It's like, we just kind of forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go, subtitle at the bottom.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the original.
Looks so much better.
Mm.
I don't know what but I'm not disintegrating. I just, is what it is.
So you prefer the original or the current?
The original.
Okay.
The original, I think, looks far better. Looks way Star Warsy.
Well, it is yellow.
And then in Force
Maybe if they
Awakens, they
just
moved back to doing the yellow and black subtitling. Old JJ, see, with his love letter to the original. So
I wonder if on Disney Plus they've gone and changed it.
Oh, maybe that'd be interesting.
now you can tell that the Ganja Club is what you can do.
Yep.
Yeah, he's not pressing it. He's not pressing it.
Oh man, what did I do to you, Liam? Why are you doing this to me?
Very angry today.
Okay. I think that'll leave it for another episode. Do thoughtfully go to turnsounds.com and consider plugging in. That helps very much with everything that we do here. We've run way over time. We're all very tired, so we won't be doing anything extra today. But yeah, that's great. You can go check out our Facebook page, Turnsounds. Email us, turnsounds@gmail.com. All of the above.
Do we still accept pigeon?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
That's what Andy's been doing. He's been training pigeons.
I've just been training pigeons to just run messages. That's all I've been doing. And I fell down and I couldn't get up for a while.
I'll talk to you guys about it off mic. There is an actual copious amount of pigeons that hang out the front of my house. But anyway,
Okay.
it's beginning to make sense now.
Well, if you get hungry, am I right?
Isaac Mark Anthony, John Williams, eye patch guy.
Oh, I found out the name of him. Hold on.
Oh,
I found out the
name. What is it?
Oh, it's like, hang on.
Rewind.
Thank you.
Omar Tress, which is an anagram for maestro.
Say it one more time.
Omar Tress.
Omar Tress.
OMA space TRES. Omar Tress.
Omar Tress. All too easy. Ben.
The George Lucas cameo that never happened.
Yep.
Lovely. Andrew D2, returning fan favourite, the OG.
Yep.
Liam.
Nice.
Battling Liam.
All right. There's a question for you. You know, was Andrew returning fan service or Easter egg? You know.
Ooh.
That's a reference.
Question for another day.
Don't try to frighten us with your sorcerer's ways.
Okay. How do I stop this thing? Is the red light mean that the thing... Liam!
Good times. Are we off the air?